Hello, my K-drama loving Chingu. Hope you're doing well, and welcome back to the monthly K-drama recap podcast, where I chat about the K-dramas I've finished, the ones I'm currently watching, and the upcoming dramas that look very intriguing. If you're new here, hi, my name's Jenny, and I've been a K-drama fan for over 10 years. I've watched over 300 dramas, and we are officially in season 2 of the podcast. Cannot thank you enough for your support in the season 1, and I had so much fun making it, so we are back for season 2. And last year was such a good time. I really enjoyed making those episodes, but this year my goal is really to release 12 episodes. It's gotta be a monthly recap podcast. We're gonna try really hard this year, but you know, I have a full-time job outside of my K-drama obsession, so thank you to the Patreons also for your support. You also help with those K-drama bills. I can't thank you enough that community has really grown. We've gotten some new subscribers. Thank you so much. And for those of you that don't know, I do have a Patreon, and for $5 a month, you can join there to get exclusive Patreon-only reactions, as well as archived Twitch reactions, which if you miss those on Twitch, that's where they go after we watch them together live on Twitch, which if you are on Twitch, make sure to follow me there. I'd love for you guys to be able to chat and watch K-dramas together. That's the whole point. I will be continuing that. So if you're on Twitch, I'm there on Saturdays, 9 a.m. Central Time. And we just finished watching Taxi Driver season 3. So we are actually in the process on the Patreon in picking what we watch next. So yeah, very cool. But if you don't have $5 to spare, I do have just the free access, which is, K-drama Chingu over here. Free access gives you early access to this podcast, any YouTube or social media videos I make. You also can vote when you have free access. That is completely public, and anyone who has a Patreon account basically can vote. So if you're the type of person that you just want to subscribe for a certain show and it wins the vote, that's how you can kind of make it happen. And then you can put in for that $5 subscription. So would love for you guys to follow me on there. So now, after all of those plugs, let's get into what I watched in the month of January. So I wouldn't say it was like slow, but work life was very busy. So I really only have 3 K-dramas to talk about, which maybe is a good thing. I can go on, and I swear last podcast episode, I felt like I was losing my voice towards the end of it. So we only have 3 to cover. I will also try not to give too much spoilers, but I do go into things that happen in the show, so watch out. There will be spoilers coming through. I will try to keep it as high level though as I can, but there's just silly things that you want to talk about, and that's what this podcast is about. Okay, so first one that I want to talk about, which is Cashero. We watched this together on Twitch, so there are archived reactions, me and the community watching this together. So this is a action comedy drama fantasy. It aired on Netflix. It was 8 episodes long, and it all aired, I guess it was like a bingeable thing, December 26, 2025. And the synopsis is: Kang Sang-eung, a public servant with superhuman strength, gains power based on the amount of cash he possesses. He struggles to maintain enough money to use his abilities. His girlfriend, Kim Min-suk, is practical and efficient, but supports him despite his powers and efficiency. Meanwhile, Byung-ho-in, a lawyer and leader of a supernatural organization, and Bong Eun-mi, a telekinetic powered by calories, also have abilities. Together, they aim to protect their normal lives from villains who seek to destabilize the world. So this had Lee Jun-ho in it, and since I had finished Typhoon Family, I was like, I need more of this boy, and he delivered immediately. So thank you, Lee Jun-ho, for being in so many K-dramas and just working your tail off. This also had Kim Hee-jun, who played the fiance, then wife, I believe. Though now that I'm looking, it almost no, that is her. I will say Lee Jun-ho's character, I felt so bad for him the whole time. Yes, he is like a civil servant, but he really gives serious kind of himbo vibes in the cutest way possible. But he is very much for his wife, he is a himbo husband, okay? Kim Hee-jun is the is the leader. So Kim Hee-jun plays the girlfriend, then fiance, then wife. And then Kim Bung-chul, he plays one of the superheroes, as well as Kim Hyung-gi. Sorry, I'm mispronouncing everyone's name. And then we had some major villains. Kim Hana is one of the villains. And then we have Kang Sung-jun. And then I have to like extend the list, but it also has Lee Chae-min, who's also a villain, and siblings to Kang Hana. Now, I will say in her villainous role here versus Bon Appetit, Your Majesty, I definitely feel like she got a little more meat to the character. But her bodyguard guy, this guy, so many unanswered questions about what was going on with him. Because, I mean, they pumped this boy full of superpowered drugs to a point where he comes out super bulked, firearms, like... And I will say, like, the premise, I would call it, like, an origin story of Cashero. And I love the fact that I guess it goes down, like, the family lines. So these superpowers pass, to family members. So I kind of like that that's how they quickly, like, got into the story. And I would say, like, 8 episodes. There were parts that were a little rushed. There were some unanswered questions. I do have a thought from a patron on here that I'm going to read out because they said it more eloquently. And also, if you leave a comment, I will mention them in the podcast. So that's kind of like another perk, I guess you could say. If you provide some relevant feedback on what you thought of the drama, I will definitely share it on here. But yeah, this patron, they had lots of issues with the logic and consistency. The bad guy goon just remaining static as their boss in the bomb elevator. No one tried to help, open, or even shoot at the heroes. Min-suk's time travel and insert the money to save Sogun, but he doesn't explain how the changes also save Joe Nathan all the money flying. He just grabs 5,000 won for a power-up. At least use telekinesis to, like, gather. Yeah, like, there could have been more teamwork to gather money, insert, put it into his pockets. And then he was like, however, if we just ignore that and focus on the entertainment aspect, it is not bad. Also, Lee Chae-min is truly a fascinating and scary villain after his big break as the Tyrant King in Bon Appetit. Hopefully we can see more of him, maybe romance and pair with his real life. Ooh, wait, he has a real life girlfriend? This is me reading like I'm in real time. I didn't read that last part, I guess, when I read this before, because I did comment, was, kind of an agreeance. I didn't know that he has a real life girlfriend. Ooh, but yes, he was very sinister as a villain brother to Kang Hana. I really felt the animosity. Like, he was truly scary. And good to see that he was in something immediately after, just not what I was looking for. I was looking for more Bon Appetit vibes. So I agree with our patron that a romance role would be great for him as his next drama. But yeah, I liked it. Like, I really surface level. Yeah, you could ask a lot of questions about stuff. I just love the whole always relying on a time travel superhero trope. Okay, I was kind of wondering about that. He kept looking at his watch, and I'm like, oh, this guy's a time traveler. But I guess it's more watch related. Yeah, like, you give the watch, he can control time, but through the watch, and then he has to get a new watch? I don't know, because I guess the watch broke, but either way. My only theory with why that also then let Joe Nathan live is just maybe luck. I mean, I don't know. That is a good question. But we got, he got comeuppance in the end. That's all that matters, in my opinion. I will say I also had more questions about the loan shark boss lady and her connection, because she was at first kind of like trying to get him to marry into her family, kind of so that also the superpower would be in her family line, like in the next generation. But then she ends up just hiring Kim Hee-jun's character. And so was that kind of her answer was, well, if I can't get him to marry my daughter, let me, like, get someone he likes to, like, work for me so that I have that tie and that connection to him always. Because she seems like she has plans for him. So I would be here for a Cashero season 2. Like, they really built up these episodes to really add on to it, in my opinion. I think the ending was a very good ending. You know, wrapped everything up in a pretty little bow, but you could extend it. I see a season 2. I feel it. I don't know how. I feel like our boy, our main lead, is super busy though. So I don't know how long it would take with Lee Jun-ho's schedule. But yeah, very good drama. I will say I liked the action. I think his character was super cute. I think the romance was definitely there. You could feel the love for his girlfriend slash wifey, future wifey. So I did like it. Now the question is for ranking, isn't it? What are we gonna rank this K-drama? You know, a lot of people are giving it like a 7.5. I mean, okay, so if we were gonna compare it to say Moving, I would call Moving like top tier 9-10 of a K-drama, especially involving superheroes, which also our girl who is in Can This Love Be Translated, which is the current Patreon exclusive K-drama, she was in it, I believe. She played the daughter of Ryu Sung Rong, if I remember correctly. Yep, there she is, Go Young Jung. So if I were, I'm pretty sure I rated Moving. I never rated Moving. This was before the podcast days. We need to fix that. I'm actually going to call this a 10. I watched it 3 times. If that doesn't say it's 10 material, I don't know what does. 10 rating. So if we were going to like compare this to Moving, I know there's a couple other, or Strong Girl Do Bong Soon, which that I would put in like the 9 range. I would actually call this, I'll rate this an 8 drama for sure. If I were going to like put it in sort of the ranking of current like superhero K-dramas I've watched, I'll give it an 8. Yes, there were plot holes. There were some like characters that really didn't get a lot of development, specifically Kang Song-jun's character. So the other K-drama that I finished in January was Idol Eye. This was 12 episodes. I watched this on Netflix, I believe, but you can also watch it on Viki. And it was a December 22nd to January 27th, 2026 airing. It was a Monday, Tuesday drama. It had me in its clutches. I don't know what it was about this one, but I've really enjoyed it. Okay. So here's the synopsis. A virtuous star lawyer and devoted fan defends her favorite idol after he is accused of murder. Mung Shi-na, a prominent lawyer determined to prove that her favorite idol, Do La-ik, is innocent. She is nicknamed the lawyer for villains for taking on unpopular criminal cases that face public criticism. She's secretly a devoted 10-year fan of the band Gold Boys. When her idol becomes embroiled in a bizarre murder case, she conceals her admiration, takes his defense, and uncovers an unexpected truth. Do-ra-ik, the visual center and vocalist of Gold Boys, who becomes a murder suspect when the stage he once longed for no longer brought happiness and the love of fans felt like a heavy burden, he hid his darkness behind a bright smile. After a murder case turns his life upside down, he throws away his mask and is reborn as someone who lives as if there is no tomorrow. That is such a weird synopsis. I think AI helped with that one. This had Choi Soo-young in it, Kim Ja-young, Jung Jae-kwang, and Choi Hee-jin, as well as Kim Hyun-jin and Kim Won-hae, who he really is very support. I think he had like the least screen time out of all of them. But the romance between Choi Soo-young and Kim Joo-young's character, mwah, perfect. Was he kind of a dick about certain things, especially about the whole like fan situation? Yes, that could have been handled differently. Though I did like how he fell for her. I did like the backstory behind why she really was a fan of his specifically, as well as Gold Boys. I thought that was like super cute. And then whenever there's a backstory where, you know, they met each other at a different time in life when they were young during like a tumultuous time, which poor girl definitely met him. That's in the time that she was needing someone and he was needing someone. Like finding out kind of their sad childhoods and then how they met and then became who they are as adults, like, tearjerker, okay? I was not expecting to cry as hard as I did. Kim Jae-young's character, he played, like, they both played their characters very, I would say, normally calmly and coolly, okay? I would even call this a slow burn, except it's 8 episodes, so they really did have to speed a few things up. But I thought that the romance was really sweet. I loved his confession. You know, this really was a relationship of just being open with one another, and when all things were revealed, so romantic, so sweet. I also really wanted to support this K-drama, not only because of the premise and who was in it, but in one of the interviews, Kim Jae-young, one of his sort of funny remarks about, hey, please watch this K-drama, and the reason why, he's like, I'm almost 40, because he's in his late 30s. I don't see myself playing a K-pop idol ever again. So it's like, please support, like, the last role I could probably take being an idol, you know? Like, support it because it's probably not going to happen again. And yeah, I was here for it. I loved the OST. I thought the OST was very sweet, very K-pop vibes. But yeah, also her fangirling moments, hilarious, especially towards the end when they get together. Like, the final kind of happy ending episode was, I think, the most poignant and cute way to end a series like this. I really loved it. It's not like big wedding, but it is them getting together and then kind of navigating life together while he's on tour and she's doing her lawyer stuff, but she's finally kind of doing what she's been wanting to do, which was bring her dad's case back to get it, like, turned over because he was not guilty. Because that was her whole sad backstory, or a portion of it was her father was arrested for a murder he didn't commit. And the prosecutors really pushed it. And so he went to jail for something he didn't do. And then he ends up killing himself in jail, which that's my only kind of gripe about her sad backstory. It's like, to me, killing yourself in jail is sort of admitting that you did do something wrong. But maybe he just was like, I can't handle jail. And he just kind of ended things because it was so terrible in there. And he just, you know, like, the system kind of failed him. But I don't know. It'd be like if I knew I had a daughter waiting for me out in the real world. Because I don't think he got life. Maybe he did get life. I thought it was just a very long sentence. But I would have used that as my motivation to wait and get out, you know. Like, yes, I'd be missing a lot, but also she was going to grow up and be a lawyer, probably either way, to defend him. So, yeah, that's my only gripe about the whole sad backstory, was that piece. That's probably me being very insensitive, but that's what I thought. That was, like, my only gripe with her trauma backstory. Also, I feel like Jung Jae Kwan's character, he was I wouldn't even call it the second male lead or, like, the love interest. There was just a lot of misunderstanding and just mean bully high school backstory between these two. But also I feel like Jung Jae Kwang really did not shine. Not even really till the very end. I could have really cared less about what happened to him, sad to say. I will say that Kim Hyung Jin, who plays sort of the younger brother vibe, works with Choi Soo-young as, like, kind of a hacker boy. Like, he helps her find information on people for her cases and whatnot. And he also rents a room from her in her house. So they're really close. So I actually do like the dynamic between Kim Hyun Jin, who really knows Choi Soo-young, like, knows the real her. And then when Kim Jae-young comes into the picture, and those two, they had some really funny moments. Some really kind of funny, jelly, like, what moments. Like, Kim Jae-young plays cute, jealous, funny, like, scared. He did a great job in this role. Like, everyone did a really great job. I definitely cried in a few episodes. I had tears of joy with them kind of telling the truth as to their past and their connection, and also him figuring it out first and talking to her about it. I was like, yes, thank you, Jesus. So I loved it. I really liked this K-drama. People gave it like an 8. I agree I would actually give it an 8.5. I'm 8.5ing it. I really liked this one. And yeah, I definitely recommend. If you watched it, let me know what you thought in the comments below, but loved it. Really liked that K-drama. Very cute, very sweet. Some very funny moments at the end involving getting like Japanese merch when he's like, I'm here. I could just get it for you. And she's like, it's not the same. I'm a fan, okay? This is what fans do. Let me fangirl. So funny. And the last completed K-drama of January was Taxi Driver Season 3. I have all reactions to Season 1 and Season 2, and now Season 3 up on the Patreon. So if you want to go on that wild ride, you go right on and do it. But we watched this together on Twitch, and absolutely loved every minute of it. Taxi Driver was a 16 episode, aired Friday and Saturday as it deserved, aired November 21st to January 10th, 2026, and you can watch this one on Viki currently. It's a action thriller mystery crime K-drama, and I feel like I've read the synopsis before, but we're going to do it again. Ex-Special Forces operative Kim Do-gi suffered a tragic loss when his mother was murdered. At his lowest ebb, he met Jong Song-chul, the CEO of Rainbow Taxi, a vigilant organization that poses as a luxury taxi service. Rainbow Taxi drivers are actually undercover agents who specialize in punishing crimes who have evaded justice. But when Rainbow Taxi's operations bring the operation into contact with a network of loan sharks, the team starts to sense it may have to deal with its biggest challenge yet. The network Rainbow Taxi learns it's linked to an international human trafficking ring. Can the vigilantes expand their reach overseas and defeat the ring's evil masterminds? So that was like the first 2 episodes, but this one kind of is like each 2 to 4 episodes, there was a new case or a new customer that, our taxi driver, vigilante, and team, find the villains and give them their comeuppance, which great race car, great car chase scenes, great action, like Lee Jae-hoon just... Season 3 blew the other seasons, I wouldn't say out of the water, but they maintained the intensity and amazingness that they gave us 1 and 2. I mean, I would say the ending was still open-ended. Like, you can't really stop the Rainbow Taxi service. Like, if you really ended it in Season 3, like, and they all dispersed, be like, what the fuck? There's, like, people that still need help and will always still need help. So you can't really disband the taxi driver team. But we delved into most everybody's pasts. Mainly, I know we got Kim Oh-sung and kind of how the Rainbow Taxi service kind of came to fruition. And then the final 2 episodes, spoiler alert, we really get some insight into Lee Jae-hoon's past and before what happened to his mom, which I low-key thought that the last 2 episodes were going to be connected to his mother's death, and I thought maybe it kind of was, but I don't think so. I think that the last 2 episodes really could have been a 4-episode breakdown. I think it would have been a little better if they could have done that, because like the last one, the last case was kind of a 4-episode case. I think they should have maybe shortened that one and extended Lee Jae-hoon's case and like background thing, because though it was very upsetting and what happened is really effed up and scary, like there are some crazy people out there, I really think that the villains and their getting of comeuppance, if they had been able to give it more time, might have been a little better. Like his backstory and like the villains and stuff and how everything unfolded just felt a little rushed because they only had 2 episodes to do that and give us a happy ending to like a full season, because I don't see a season 4 happening. Would I personally watch a season 4? I would really drag my feet. I don't really think I would. I think that 3 was fantastic. Like, I'm really impressed that they got 3 seasons. and kept it amazing. So yeah, I think what have I ranked the other Taxi Driver? I gave them an 8.5 for season 2. Yes, I agree with that. What about just Taxi Driver season 1? Did I rank that one? I don't want to dock points for season 3 just because it's over. I feel like that's a little sad. So I'm actually going to rank this one a 9 as well. The OST, the chase scenes, like I did a lot of shoulder dancing when we were watching it. Like the OST, I definitely will be listening to at work to kind of get the vibes going. Like we're on a mission to finish this in an hour. You know, it'll be my motivational music. But yeah, Taxi Driver season 3. If you want to watch those reactions, all of them are up. You have that to find on the Patreon if you're interested. What I am currently watching, I am finishing up Spring Fever. I'm up to episode 8 on that. That is a Amazon Prime K-drama. I'm not going to rank it, but we can definitely talk about it right now. It's 12 episodes. It started airing January 5th and will end February 10th. And it's a Monday, Tuesday airing drama. I'm watching it on Prime Video. The synopsis follows Yun Bon, who, after enduring emotional turmoil in Seoul, moves to the small town of Sinshu to begin anew as an exchange teacher. Initially detached and cold toward everything, she gradually opens her heart after meeting Sun Jae-gyu. Sun Jae-gyu is a key figure who stirs up the village. I'm laughing because it's true. Sun Jae-gyu is a key figure who stirs up the village with his outrageous antics. He is also the CEO of JK Power Energy and the uncle to Sun Han-gyu, a student at Sinshu High. Despite his large build and rough first impression reminiscent of a back alley tough guy, Jae-gyu is someone full of unexpected charm, unwavering devotion, and deep consideration for others. 100%. No, this photo kind of tells you everything. I will say that it might be a little quirky, a little too quirky for me. His character and his sort of village accent is honestly adorable, and he has been like very fun and funny in this. I think that Lee Ju-bin is also good in it. I just don't know if I see it. Like, I've been enjoying the romance, but I think Ah Bong-yeon's character is just a little too silly and funny. There was a scene in a recent episode where he's crying, but the crying is not like an emotional, like, I love, you know, like he's kind of acting as normal as possible. And she's like, oh my God, you're crying. He's like, what? What? And he's like crying. And he's like, I don't cry. I don't remember the last time I've ever cried. This is funny, weird, just like acting completely normal. And then he can't stop crying though. He's like, well, I guess I can't stop. I don't know how it started. I don't know how to stop it, but I'm really okay. He's not very in touch with his emotions, I think. Whereas she is very much like, she tries to hold it in, but she's a big crybaby. So her backstory with why she leaves Seoul and everything that happens there, I'm going to give a little spoiler alert about that, but it's like a teacher that thinks that they're together, and the wife of this guy, of one of her students, and the wife comes into her classroom in Seoul and like slaps her and like says that she's having an affair with this man, and she's like, no. And also she's the daughter of a famous actress, so when she goes to talk to her parents about like wanting to fight it, they're like, no, we can't help you. Like, I'm too famous. This is going to get out into the press. Like, let's just lay low. And she's like, I hate both of you for not supporting me and thinking that, kind of blaming me for this. Because she was not with this guy. He put all that on her. She was just being a teacher. You know, she was like wanting to fight it. And then instead she does this exchange program and starts working, you know, in this small town in Shinshu. And this is like, she's been there for like a couple months, and that's when An Bo-yeon's character kind of comes in. Like, she's been in the village for a little while, and a little more unfolds about how they've previously met technically when she first moved there. But either way, I think it's cute. There's also a teeny tiny little dog in this one as one of the reasons for them to get together and plot points. This little dog, Oh my gosh, the cutest little dog I've ever seen. I'm always afraid his eyes are gonna like pop out of the screen. But he is like stealing, this little dog is stealing the show. Very cute. I like that like they become mom and dad to this dog. I like how he kind of low-key uses that dog to as a way to like keep seeing her. And I like that he's very open with how he feels about her. But the thing is, she's very adamant and very worried about them being caught together because obviously that's like why she went into this exchange program. And she's trying to lay low, okay? That's where the whole all black, don't have fun, stay as like separated as you can. It's for her own safety, like, and emotional well-being based off of what happened last time. So it is like, I see why she could be a little worried about dating one of her students' family members. But I like that she's now just like, I want to do it. I will say like they kind of jump things a little too quick in this. Like they kind of flip-flop the emotions a little too fast, but it's cute. I'm going to hold like my final thoughts obviously until I finish it, but I will say if I were like to compare, when I was watching Idle Eye, I was also starting and watching Spring Fever. I was way more interested in finishing Idle Eye before going to Spring Fever. Like Spring Fever, I kind of drag my feet and like, okay, I need something to watch later in the week. Like, okay, I have Spring Fever. And it's been making me chuckle. It's very cute. I've liked the music. It is very oddball and goofy. I will say some of the outfits they have given On Boyan have not done him justice and make him look so like a giant toddler, like a giant muscly toddler. And I don't think I'm a fan of it. So I understand that he's kind of got this sort of military gruff gangster vibe. And so they dress him a lot in like cargo pants and like a tucked in shirt, always in kind of a greenish military vibe. And we do get him in a suit because he is a CEO. But yeah, it's a little, I like that he's tried to impress her and he's always trying to find a way to impress her. But he has also like never dated before. And it's like, he's also kind of giving like just big virgin energy. And I'm like, dude's almost a 30. He's a CEO and he's giving off virgin vibes. Stop. Like, I'm going, yo, stop. So funny to me. But I am enjoying it. But yeah, I'm going to hold off my thoughts until I finish it. But yeah, I'm very close. I'm up to 8, 9 and 10 are posting soon. So looking forward to it. And then the other drama I'm watching, which is the Patreon exclusive for kind of January, February, is Can This Love Be Translated? My God, I'm up to episode 6, so I'm like halfway through it. And this is such a romantic, sad, just moving K-drama. I am really loving it. I'm obsessed with it, low key. This would be a psychological comedy romance drama. It's 12 episodes long. It all came out on like a Friday, so it's fully bingeable. I'm doing kind of 1 or 2 on the weekends and posting them on Patreon. And it's on Netflix. It's got Kim Soon-ho in it and Go Yeon-jung, as well as Fukushi Sota, who's a Japanese actor. I have some things to say about him, as well as Lee Yi-dam and Choi Woo-sung, who plays Go Yeon-jung's manager, which we'll get into the synopsis soon. And then we have some other like support casts who are all part of the television crew. So, Can This Love Be Translated follows interpreter Ju Ho-jin and top star Cha Moo-hya as their working relationship turns into a precarious emotional entanglement. Ju Ho-jin's professional rule is to stay neutral and invisible, a rule that collapses once he's assigned to Moo-hyo and begins quietly altering her harsh, chaotic statements into softer versions that won't destroy her public image. The core tension comes from Ho Jin's job itself. Every interview and press conference becomes a live minefield where one literal translation could spark a scandal, while one edited line could betray Moo-hyo's true self. He gradually realizes he isn't just her interpreter, but the only person allowed to hear what she genuinely means, turning linguistic work into emotional intimacy that feels as risky as a confession. Cha Moo-hyo is crafted as a dual-image person, immaculate, graceful, global idol in public, brutally direct, occasionally cruel in private. Her dynamic with Ho Jin is driven by constant tension between what she says, what he dares to translate, and what both of them actually feel. As Moo Hugh notices how often he softens her words, she starts throwing him emotional curveballs, provocative jabs, half-joking confessions, and career-ending lines to test where his loyalty really lies. Okay, so that might be happening after episode 6. Episode 6 is, I would say, where some real pain and shit hits the fan. And like Go Yoon Jung, I do think really kind of effed up. Her alter ego, her like inner mean comment, which is played by her, but it's like the character that she plays in this film that like blows up at the start of this K-drama, which that whole situation, oh my gosh. Yeah, like the whole first 2 episodes, like 1 and 2, and how everything plays out was completely bananas. Like, she's an up-and-coming actor, and she's making this horror kind of comedy film. She doesn't even really understand it, okay? But during filming, in like the final, oh, I hit the table, in the final scene, she gets into an accident and gets into a coma. And she had met Kim Sun-ho in, you know, other circumstances before this filming of the movie. And so she kind of finds out, like, through the episodes that he was checking in on her while she was in the hospital. And also, while she was in the hospital in a coma, the movie blows up. And so she ends up seeing Kim Sun-ho more than she thought she would be. And the first, like, up until episode 6, it's really been her kind of shooting her shot every chance she can get with Kim Sun-ho. Because he really is, like, kind of a fantastic man. Like, his character is one that just does not exist in real life, but you really wish he did. Like, one, he's an interpreter. I can't remember how many languages he speaks, but he speaks enough to be going on this travel dating show with her to, like, help translate. And I think they're going... I think the whole lineup is Canada, then Italy, and I thought there was like another destination. But like the way that they start episode 1 and then the backstory as to how they got there, because in episode 1 they kind of start with them on the show already, and he's like talking to her through the mic, like they're doing like the final episode kind of thing, and they seem very close, you know, chatting with one another. And I can't remember what language a sign was, but like she's leaning on something and he's like, you're not supposed to lean on that. So she like gets off it and she's like, what, how do you know? And he's like, there's literally a sign there. And he starts translating it and just, you know, giving her a hard time for like, she's like, oh, okay. She's trying to play it off. So it's like kind of a cute moment where you're like, oh, okay, these two have some rapport. What's going on here? And she's kind of like low-key, I thought, flirting. And then everything plays out. And then the rest of the episode is us discovering how they met before all of that. And then her going into the coma and crazy shit. And then episode 6, everything blows up because girl's been shooting her shot left and right. And there's also another girl involved that our main lead has supposedly had a huge crush on for like years and years. And also, spoiler alert, like she's engaged to his older half-brother. Like, if this were something else, it would be a melodrama to an extent. You know, there's like mistresses involved in a way in like Kim Sun-ho's family. Like it's his half brother, an older brother, but it's from a previous kind of relationship. And then they're still involved, but they were never married. But then he got married and like had Kim Sun-ho with his wife, but I think he was maybe still with the other woman. I don't know. There was some mistress mention, but it was just very funny because he's like explaining the family dynamics in a photo to somebody that he works with or like lives with. I know that it's he's a novelist, I guess, but he also like spends a lot of time in Kim Sun-ho's house because it's his dad's house that he inherited. Oh, that's a whole thing. That house is so cool. We could go into the house. That might be one I build in The Sims. I might be building this world in The Sims later on. So he was like explaining the family dynamics and just like, wow, you are a cool American family, like American style family over here, being cool with like a mistress and a half brother. Well, like the woman that he thought he loved and like has liked, he finds out is like dating his older brother. And in this current time in the K-drama, they're engaged. And then, oh man, that shit's blowing up. And then that's kind of like where the big like thing that causes the cliffhanger to episode 6. I'm just like, whoa, they are like taking this to a crazy level of shock and just like, oh man. So I really am here for it. But yeah, his character is just a green flag after green flag. You know, like we meet him when he saves this kid, basically, who he meets this family, and she's also going to the same location, and they're in Japan. And this family is Italian, so he's like speaking to them in Italian, and then the kid eats something weird, and he like helps them get to the hospital and like helps this family and like checks in, and it's just like amazing, an amazing man. And then she needs him to help with some translation, which that's drama all on its own. And that's how they kind of meet. So they meet in Japan, and then they don't see each other after that because of this like other girlfriend, this other girl played by Lee Dom. And then, yeah, they meet again, like, after she's left her coma. And that's also when she finds out that he's been checking on her. And I was saying this in my reaction to episode 6, or maybe it was 5, where I was like, the problem is she keeps shooting her shot because he's just a genuinely nice guy. And that's kind of terrible about nice guys. Like, guys that will just open the door for anyone, even after you're dating them. He will open the door for anyone and take care of anyone. And if those people are also hot girls, that's like terrible. He could just have been being nice to her. And that's kind of what her manager is kind of pushing on her, like Choi Woo-sung, who he plays like her manager. I would also say he gives major Big Brother vibes. He is there for her though. Like she has a major emotional moment, and I would say the way he held her, like handled it, great job. Like I loved him, and I was so glad that he was there for her in that moment. You know, he gives her a hard time every time she tries to shoot her shot, and she really can't tell. She's like, does he like me, or is he just being nice? I think he's just being nice. But then she still tries, and he rejects her and rejects her and rejects her. Like, girl won't give up. Girl is desperate for love. So that was a little like cringe for me. But Go Yeon-jung and her character, she is impeccable in this. Her comedy, the shit that is going on, also the things that are developing as to why she is sort of, she runs away from things instead of accepting or hearing the truth. She's like, I don't want to hear it, or I know what I'm going to hear. And so I'm trying to remember, she's like avoidant attachment. If you know your attachment styles, she's super avoidant. And she's avoidant because of something that's happened in her past. And they've sort of alluded that when she was 7, she was in some sort of accident but doesn't remember anything. Well, I think the whole other piece of this drama is she's also kind of going through some sort of psychosis after her coma situation. And like she's got this claim to fame, and she woke up famous, literally. And she keeps seeing her movie character, and it keeps kind of being like just talking down to her. She calls it like her meanest fan or her meanest comment. Like she's her worst hater. She has a lot of self-doubt, and she doesn't think that anyone could love her. And that is just so painful and just hurt my soul so much, because she finally does kind of admit everything to Kim Sun-ho. Ooh, I can't get into that right now. I will start crying. But Go Yeon-jung has just been such a good character. Her emotional growth, but like the psychosis moments where like her hater is just saying these things to her, and like the visual representation of her and like the way that they've edited all that together, very top notch. Fukushi Soto, he is playing the actor who is, they end up both on a reality dating show, and he's not having it. Okay, he's a dick from day one. And that's where like this whole editing situation that they're talking about in the synopsis, I was a little confused by, because Hiro, at least at the start, is the one that he sort of starts editing the translations to Go Yeon-jung, because he just is saying the meanest things, and he doesn't want Go Yeon-jung to be hurt by them. Like, he didn't want to translate it, even though he tells her, it's like, there's no emotion involved. It's like, I am completely neutral, like the synopsis said, and I just translate what I'm told and I give it back in the other language. Like, I am not processing or emotionally connected or involved to the conversation at all. And she's like, okay, great. Well, then he admits that he kind of is with her, and shows that at the start, I guess, with the way that he translates for Fukushi Sota. Because at the start, he's saying some just, it's cringy. But I'm over here like, even if you are translating this in real time this way to Go Yeonjung, aren't they going to have a translator in the actual variety show, or are they just going to edit the whole thing out and have him re-record the audio? Like, how are we gonna cover what he just said in the actual thing? Or is Kim Sun-ho going to edit it and it's just gonna be a whole scandal? Like, that's a weird question to have. But I guess now, after what has occurred in episode 6, I don't know, I'm wondering if she kind of does start letting her inner mean commenter, I can't think of the character's name. It's like Do something something. Well, either way, she's being like psychologically haunted by some inner demon of hers, as like the character she plays in this like horror film that she ends up in a coma from. So I wonder if after what happens in episode 6, she kind of does start giving Kim Sun-ho's character a hard time during the filming, because it's all happened kind of during the filming break, and they're all supposed to meet up in Italy. So I'm very curious to find out what happens next. I cannot wait for this following weekend, because that's usually when I watch them. But yeah, I really do think that the romance is there. Like, Kim Sun-ho smolders. He's like an introverted book nerd, and I'm here for it. Like, if he started licking plants too, oh my God. Like, guys. Also, he's had some moments of like funny jealousy. There's like a whole dimple situation, and he like, dimples. I have dimples. So I liked the dimple call out. Yeah, I don't think I have much else to say about Can This Love Be Translated, besides it might be my favorite K-drama so far. Like, I do wish I had time to watch more, but I have to record those, so I have to kind of plan them out. But it's good. I'm loving it. Very interested to see what happens moving forward, since, I don't know, the synopsis kind of tells me something. Unless AI is just like lying to me and, they're mixing up characters, but Hugh could be Hero, but no, I think it's her. I think she starts doing some crazy shit. But yeah, I'm interested. If you've watched Can This Love Be Translated, let me know what you thought in the comments below. And thank you all for staying to the end to hear my goodbyes. I hope you enjoyed the first recap of season 2. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel or join the Patreon to get notified when new podcast episodes or videos are up. And I will see you in the next video or live on Twitch. Bye!